My name is Liam Kilby and I'm the Associate Director of MBA Recruitment and Admissions here at Said Business School, University of Oxford. This webinar is all about helping you submit the strongest, most competitive application possible for the Oxford MBA. Whether you're just getting started or already working on your materials, this session is designed to give you the practical tips and insights that can help take your application from good to great. Over the next 30 to 40 minutes, you'll hear directly from members of the Recruitment and Admissions team, people who review applications every day. They'll walk you through what we look for across each part of your application, including your academic profile, your professional experience, and your personal story. At Oxford, we take a holistic approach to admissions. That means we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for potential. We're looking for people who are reflective, driven, and ready to make the most of the Oxford MBA. We hope this session not only gives you the tools to craft a stronger application, but also helps you see why you belong at Oxford. The Q&A box is now live, so feel free to start submitting your questions at any point during the session. Our team will be responding behind the scenes and will also answer some live at the end.
Your academic profile is where we assess your ability to manage the academic demands of the MBA programme. We're not just looking at grades, we're looking at evidence of intellectual curiosity, commitment, and your readiness to contribute to a rigorous academic environment. The academic profile is made up of three components: your undergraduate degree and transcripts, your GMAT or GRE score, and, if required, proof of English language proficiency. We welcome applications from candidates with a first class or upper second class honours degree, or a GPA of 3.5 or above on a 4-point scale, or the international equivalent. That said, we understand academic paths vary. If your classification is lower, we'll take a look at the whole picture, especially your career progression, your test scores, and your ability to reflect and grow. Your subject area doesn't matter. We admit students from across the academic spectrum, from engineering and economics to history, law, and the arts. We value diversity in thought, background, and perspective. At the application stage, we're happy to accept a scan of your transcripts or even a screenshot from your university's online portal. Unofficial transcripts are absolutely fine at this point. Just make sure you've included your full academic record, not just the degree certificate. And finally, if your transcript isn't in English, be sure to upload a certified translation along with the original. Getting this right now helps us ensure a smooth review later. Submitting a valid GMAT or GRE score is a mandatory part of the Oxford MBA application. We do not offer waivers regardless of your academic background, previous qualifications, or professional experience. We'll accept either test, and we have no preference between the GMAT and the GRE. Both online and in-person versions are accepted equally. Choose whichever format and test style suits you best. You'll need to upload your score report when you submit your application. Even if you've registered Said Business School to receive your scores directly from GMAT or ETS, we'll still ask you to upload your own copy to the application checklist. If your test score is missing or your test is expired, we won't be able to consider your application. In terms of expectation, there is no minimum score, but the medium GMAT in our current class is 680. For GMAT Focus, you will need an approximate score of 625. The median GRE is 160 in verbal and 160 in quantitative. A high score is helpful, but it doesn't guarantee a place, and a lower score won't automatically disqualify you. What matters is how well your test supports your overall application. If you've taken the test more than once, we'll consider your highest total score. Just remember to plan ahead. Scores need to be uploaded by the stage deadline that you're applying to. That means scheduling your tests in advance, especially if you're sitting the online version and waiting on official results. If you're a national of a non-majority English-speaking country, you'll need to demonstrate English language proficiency when you apply to the Oxford MBA. We accept several types of tests. The TOEFL with a minimum overall score of 110. The IELTS academic test with a minimum overall score of 7.5 and 7 in each section. All test results must be less than 2 years old at the time of your application deadline. This is a strict university requirement, and we cannot accept expired results or results that fall below the stated minimums. When applying, you must upload your test score report to the application checklist. If your scores are below the minimum or over 2 years old, you will need to retake the test and upload new results. IELTS General Training and IELTS Online are not accepted, only the academic version is valid. In some cases, you may be eligible to request an academic or professional waiver. To be eligible for the academic English waiver, you must have completed a full-time degree of at least 9 months at a recognised institution where both teaching and assessment were entirely in English, and you must have graduated within 2 years of your MBA start date. If you request this waiver, you must submit official documentation confirming the language of instruction. A degree certificate alone is not enough. We'll need a formal letter from your university. For the professional waiver, your role used English every day in a technical or professional environment using reading, writing, speaking and listening. And/or you worked for at least 2 years in a majority English-speaking country and your role ended within 2 years of your MBA start date. If you're applying under the professional waiver, you must submit a document that clearly explains how you used each component of English in your day-to-day work.
Your professional profile is where we get to understand your career to date, the experiences you've had, the impact you've made, and how your journey so far prepares you to contribute in the Oxford MBA classroom. We're not just looking for years of experience, we're looking for evidence of growth, leadership potential, and readiness to learn and collaborate in a globally diverse community. The professional profile is made up of 2 main components. Your CV, which summarises your roles, results and progression, and then your letters of recommendation, which gives us insight into how others see your contribution and potential. To apply for the Oxford MBA, you'll need to have a minimum of 2 years of full-time work experience. That can come from any sector, and we welcome applicants from consulting, healthcare, finance, NGOs, startups, creative industries, and many more. It's not just about where you've worked, we're looking for career progression. How have your roles grown in scope? How you have led projects, teams, or taken initiative beyond what was expected. Your CV should be clear, concise, and no more than 1 page. Use bullet points, avoid jargon, and focus on impact, not just your responsibilities. If you've worked across borders with global teams or in diverse environments, make sure that's reflected. And finally, remember that your CV is one of the first things we read, so make sure it connects with your wider application story. Another important part of your application is the post-MBA career plan, and this is a key section of your application. We're not expecting you to have everything figured out, but we do want to see that you've thought carefully and critically about what you want to do next. Your career plan should show that you've reflected on the experience you already have, and that you've researched your target industry or role, and that you understand how the Oxford MBA will help you close the gap. We're looking for a plan that's realistic, well-informed and ambitious in the right ways. If you're pivoting sectors or geographies, explain why and how you're preparing for that transition. Just as importantly, we encourage you to include a realistic plan B. This shows adaptability and that you've considered multiple paths to your goals, which is exactly the kind of mindset that helps students thrive during the MBA. As part of your application, you'll need to submit 2 letters of recommendation from either a professional or academic referee. Your referees don't need to be your direct manager, but they should be people who you've worked closely with and know you well. Ideally, they'll be individuals who can offer a thoughtful, honest view of your contributions, character and potential. Once you enter their details in the online application, your referee will automatically receive an email with a link to complete the reference form. This includes a short competency rating section and a space for a letter-style response explaining their assessment in more detail. It's your responsibility to ensure both letters are submitted by your stage deadline. We can't review your application without them. A quick note, we can only accept references submitted from a valid professional or institutional email address. Strong letters of recommendation really do help us understand your story.
The final part of your application is your personal profile, and this is where you can really distinguish yourself. This section gives us insight into who you are, your values, your goals, and what you'll bring into the Oxford MBA community. At Oxford Said, we don't just build a class, we build a cohort. A group of individuals who are diverse in background, but united by their curiosity, drive, and potential for impact. This is your opportunity to go beyond your credentials and show us the person behind the application. So let's take a closer look at the elements that make up your personal profile. The personal statement is short, just 250 words, but it's one of the most important ways you can bring your application to life. It's a key part of your overall narrative. The prompt is simple. Tell us something that is not covered in your application, which you would like the admissions committee to know about you. But while the question is simple, it's not optional. There's no single right approach. Some of the strongest essays we read are the most personal and reflective, the ones that shows who you are, not just what you've done. We encourage you to use your own voice and be authentic. We're not looking for perfection. We value clarity, storytelling, and thoughtfulness. When we review your personal statement, we're looking for clear communication, leadership potential, analytical thinking, and most importantly, your fit within the Oxford MBA community. Whether your story is quiet or bold, personal or professional, make it real. This is your chance to speak directly to us. Take it. The online assessment, delivered through a platform called Clear Talent, is your chance to show us how you think on your feet, communicate under pressure, and let your personality come through, all in your own words. You'll be asked to complete 3 short video-based questions. These are randomly selected competency-based prompts that focus on the kinds of qualities we look for in Oxford MBA candidates. Once you submit your application and upload both your referee details and CV, a link to the online assessment will be emailed to you, usually within 24 hours. We recommend completing those sections early so you have plenty of time. You can practice as much as you want in the Clear platform before starting your real assessment. We highly recommend using the practice environment. Once you begin the real questions, you'll get 20 seconds to prepare and 90 seconds to respond. There's no retake option, so once you'll begin, you'll need to commit to each answer. Your responses don't need to be perfect, but they do need to be genuine. This is not an academic test. We want to see clarity, confidence, and character. Plan ahead. If you leave this until the last minute and run into technical issues, we may not be able to accept a late submission.
Throughout this session, we've talked through each part of the Oxford MBA application, from your academic record and professional experience to your career goals, references, essay, and online assessments. Once you've completed each section and submitted your application, our team will then begin reviewing it as part of the stage you've chosen. You can apply in any one of the application stages, but make sure everything is submitted and completed by the deadline of the stage you're aiming for. That includes your references and Kira assessments, so please leave enough time. There's no perfect stage to apply in. We look carefully at every application we receive in every round. Most importantly, make sure your application feels authentic, well prepared, and true to you. Thank you for joining us for today's session. We hope you found it helpful and that it's given you a clearer sense of how to put forward a strong Oxford MBA application. More than that, we hope it's helped you see why you belong at Oxford. We'll now move into our live Q&A, and this is your chance to ask us anything you would like, whether that's about the application process, scholarships, interviews, or life at Oxford. If you haven't already, just type your questions into the Q&A box. Some will be answered live on screen and others by members of our team behind the scenes. And if we don't get to your question today, don't worry. You can always email us at oxfordmba@sbs.ox.ac.uk and we'll be happy to follow up. So, let's get started.